Morning. I am doing something different today. I talk a lot about writing on my channel and stuff like that, and I decided that I was gonna actually share some of my writing with you. This is from a manuscript that I worked on. It's in the final stages of editing, developmental editing. It's called The Dueling Librarian by R.J. Kenna. The 5 Laws of Library Science by S.R. Ranganathan. Number 1, books are for use. Number 2, every person has his book. Number 3, every book has its reader. Number 4, save the time of the reader. Number 5, the library is a growing organism. Part 1, collision. A man named Tarzan. Tarzan was uncomfortable with his name. He supposed it worked quite well, given that he was a botanist, but the name Tarzan Thoreau made him feel inadequate all the time. The problem wasn't so much the swinging through the jungles whilst screaming a very particular cadence sequence, nor even the bare-chested bravura he was so often compared with. No one swung on vines anymore. Tarzan hadn't even seen a vine besides the show. What bothered him was the passion, nay, the belligerence with which people launched themselves into the discussion, a polite, if mildly inaccurate description, of which Tarzan was best and whether or not Thoreau was out of his mind. In a world where Mother Nature had proven herself supreme and humans had dedicated themselves to her and to stories of human folly since the interventions, worldwide natural cataclysms that changed the very fabric of society, indeed the face of the earth itself, the name Tarzan Thoreau was the perfect cross-section of all philosophical, theological, mystical, and literary arguments still known to mankind. So when he introduced himself, he tended to be the dividing catalyst for all-out, polite, non-violent, heated discussion at parties, at contribution, at artisanal shops, historical reenactments, anywhere really. A nom de plume would have been lovely, but he did not belong to the downtown world of clandestine librarians dueling it out between their rival gangs. So Tarzan Thoreau sighed, only gave his name when absolutely necessary, and wistfully studied plant life, far, far, far below him. Remote, exotic, untouchable. To those who knew him, Tarzan was a cross between Arthur Dent from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, a book, radio, and television series, and Samwise Gamgee of The Lord of the Rings, similarly a book, movie, and television series from long before the interventions. He wasn't pudgy, he wasn't short, he didn't have extraordinarily large or hairy feet. He didn't wear a bathrobe or carry a rabbit-skin satchel that kept changing, but he was rather missable, to an extent. He wasn't precisely hapless, but neither did he possess the decisiveness of character which his name so stridently implied. Tarzan Thoreau was thoroughly ordinary, and he longed, secretly of course, for adventure. This was perhaps why he had no close friends and only tangentially interacted with his co-contributors. He was the one everyone enjoyed having input from, for he was kind and easily brushed off if one didn't care for his observation. Most people didn't, in fact, enjoy his observations, for they were strictly ordinary and deeply rooted in the archaic notion of common sense. He saw things that many did not, simply because he had very few aspirations and had, from a young age, prepared himself for an adventure by living with few comforts and by constantly asking himself how he would manage any given task in the wild. It was, of course, a purely academic question, since no one but the shepherds ever descended to the earth's surface, and Tarzan Thoreau was dismally underqualified for such a momentous task as sheep tending. So he monitored his section of the Earth's atmosphere, flora, fauna, and continued his studies of botany on the side, wishing for the day his adventure would come. Until then, Tarzan made his way through the twisting suspension walkways, always taking a circuitous route through Midtown and Atlantis, descending to his monitoring station. It was the lowest of them, tucked right into a pocket of a hive dome. Downtowners had increasingly frequent duels in the pocket skin directly below him. Tarzan could never hear the exchanges. It was probably too violent for him anyway, but he observed and never reported them. He took comfort in the knowledge of rebellion thriving somewhere below him. It gave him hope. He loved his city and all that had been accomplished. It was a gentle world humans lived in now. Violence was relegated to the downtown duels. People were fostered in their loves and potentials and given opportunity to contribute in truly meaningful ways. Work was a laughable term from an archaic, primitive time pre-intervention. From what Tarzan had seen of life before the interventions via the shows, life was now deeply satisfying in ways it hadn't been before. But there was still a nagging wonder in the back of his mind. Was there something more? Was a society built in the air, divorced from its roots, truly living? Tarzan knew that plants without roots died. Were people like that now? He wasn't sure, so he continued his contributions. He continued to look the other way with duels. He continued to wonder. Tarzan Thoreau just wanted to know what he was continuing toward.